28th. Oh my goodness, you know what? I've been thinking it's the 29th all day. That just goes to show how off I am today. I am not on camera today because I'm not feeling my best. My eldest is home today, so in case she were to pop over and jump into the room, I like to keep my kids off camera because I like to keep their lives their lives. So let's check and see what's going on with the market. Now we have had crazy natural disasters around the world, right? You guys have seen all of these natural disasters that have been happening. We've had wildfires. We have had, what else? We've had wildfires. We have had floods, typhoons, tornadoes. You name it, pretty much, we have seen it so far going on in the world. And so I'm going to see, is everybody here before I really start talking about this? So, you know, we also saw today that the oil numbers came out. Everything is running a little bit slow on my internet, so I'm waiting for that chat to come up. Okay. And I don't see that anyone is live on this. So let me edit the video, make sure that this is public, because maybe, just maybe, I set it up as a private live stream. Wouldn't that be funny? Let me see the details of this right now. No, it's public. Okay, cool. Because sometimes I do funky things like that. All right, so today, I was looking at the Credit Suisse expectations, but we did have oil numbers that were higher than expected. All right, everything seems like it's just a little slower. Did you hear that weird click, click, click? That was weird. So oil numbers today, much higher than expected. If you think about the cost of goods for stocks, you're going to see that we are going to see prices of goods rising, right? The prices of goods are going to rise as you have a higher cost of shipping them there. So the crude oil inventories, this is going to increase the cost of goods going up. What happens if you have a crazy natural disaster like what's been going on around the world, right? Then you will likely need to have food and water and cash on hand in case all the electrical aspects of your town or city go down. So I highly recommend you guys have at least $1,000 of cash on hand, and make sure that you have dry goods, non-perishables, at least up to a month. And let's make sure that you have water too. Hey, David, how's it going? I came on a little bit earlier today. Not feeling my best, so not on camera. But looking at this right here, barring the fact that we have FOMC meeting coming up in just 2 hours for the end of the FOMC meeting, usually we have a little bit of a leak that comes out of it that we might have had happen yesterday. That was this drop right here, but we have this upward wedge that's forming, and today we are below that price point, right? We dropped very quickly below it yesterday, and that came from this bottom right here. If we look at the angle of this attack, let's go to the settings here, and it's not, there we go, show angle, 69 degrees. That's a lot higher than a normal rate of incline for a growth, and that's happened since the 19th of July. So looking at that, the failure rate is going to be pretty high. Hello, Terry. Hi. And looking at that, we need to keep that in mind. I anticipate that we're likely going to have a drawdown back down here around 422.80, just a little bit lower. I think we're likely going to see a drop back down there just below this yellow volume weighted anchored price. So keep on watch for that. We do have the Fed, a lot of chatter talking about obviously inflation. For you guys watching, have you seen your grocery bill go up since January? I have definitely seen the grocery bill move to the upside, and that to me says that inflation is here. That's the consumer goods inflation. Are they measuring that and putting it out for society? Yeah, me too, Terry. And it's also, like I said, you guys jumped on. I started early, but make sure that you guys have cash on hand, right? It is important to have cash on hand. With all these natural disasters, you never ever know what's going to happen. So I thought today was the 29th. I totally messed up. Today is not the 29th. It is the 28th. And that's why I'm not on camera, because it's been a rough day. But looking at the SPY, we had a nice little short trade here right off of my list below 439, came down, hit that support for 38.50. Let's check out the Qs. So we did have Microsoft and Apple reporting, and that's definitely affected the Qs today. Again, we have this trend line. This trend line was set up, let's see where, from back here, right? The bottom back of May of 21st. And now we're testing it from below. So that is an optimal point for potential short for this to move to the downside. How far down? Maybe we're going to come back down to that 355 level, maybe further down here to roughly 350 area. So keep it on watch. Let's look at Apple right now. Apple to me is setting up with an M formation and a double top on the daily chart. So let's measure the height here. If we go with this as our neckline, pretty much $6.37. Let's measure it to the downside. $6.37, roughly 137 would be my target to the downside. Should we close below over here? Let's move this. Oh, this was my price for today. I'm not going to adjust it. 143.50, right? Do we have it over there? 143.50. Yep, right here for today. If we were to drop that down just a little bit lower, I think we're going to be seeing 137 area, which look, that was roughly a resistance, and I would anticipate that to become a support area. This M formation is telling me, hey, we have sellers that said we're stopping up here at 150. Buyers came back in. Sellers stood in, and the indication that this did not go just as high leads me to believe that this is likely going to continue back to the downside further. It has a shortfall of the upward side, so that is a little bit of a lower high on that candle, leading me to think, yep, this is showing a bit of weakness in Apple. Now we could set up for a bit of a channel too before we have a big massive breakdown. So maybe we'll look for a break below 142.50 and then anticipate that move down to 137 over here. All right. Let's look at Microsoft as well. So Microsoft was also on my list today. It had volatility to both sides as well. We had a little bit, let's put on a 15-minute chart. So we did have a short trade earlier this morning, and then it rebounded up, but it's still in a downward trend, right? The moving averages have not curled back to the upside. They are still heading to the downside for Microsoft, but we are up above this trend line. So looking to see, we've got a bunch of these trend lines here that are setting up as potential resistance areas. We tested this midline one here. Let's make this one a different color. Let's make this an orange right there. All right, so that could 284.50 is going to be on watch. Let's set up an alert right there, add an alert on that trend line for crossing down. And if we break down below that, next one's going to be down at 282 area, so 282.20. So let's keep those on watch as well. All right, let's look at the Russell. So the Russell's very strong today, actually, taking out yesterday's high wick from here. Now, we do have big dark pool up here. As long as we stay below this, I am going to be bearish. We had higher volume on the bottom down here with a buying wick, and that is interesting. We came down, tested the close. We are up at extremes. Now remember, today is FOMC, so we could see crazy volatility into that 2 o'clock meeting. We have Senator Warren that wanted to have information on crypto regulation coming out from Janet Yellen and the SEC. Gary Gensler is talking today. It happened at 11 o'clock to the UN. I missed it. I missed the live stream. I'm not with it 100% today. I have a massive headache massive, massive headache. And Dow Jones as well has been pulled down to the downside, which is quite interesting because we have Boeing, which is one of the holdings in the Dow Jones, and that is doing really, really well. But you can see here on the daily chart that we have this little area of resistance. It's kind of like a little island gap, but we pulled all the way back down here. So that fills that island gap right there. But looking for this to break down below 348. If we break down below 348, look for a test down to 345.80 and then down to 342 and so on down to 340.60. VXX is showing a little bit of weakness today, potentially on that infrastructure deal, but we do have a rounded bottom that is forming on VXX. We very, very rarely will see a rounded bottom on VXX. So this could just be because it is midday. We do, obviously, VXX and VIX tend to be an inverse indicator. It's going to measure the put buying on the S&P 500. So you would anticipate for this to be constantly moving to the downside. The fact that we have a rounded bottom shows me that there is a bit more fear in the market. People are buying puts on the S&P 500 as their protection measure. And until we really break below 29, this could signal a bigger move to the downside for the S&P 500, in my opinion. Hello, Troy. Hope you're having a good day. Banks are a little bit weak today. Did more research on fractional banking. And you know that they lend out your money 33 times. So that means that they have deposits on hand for 3% of their total depositors. So if 33 people all went in and said, give me your money, they would only have it for one, right? 1 out of 33, they're going to have your cash on hand. So it's good to have cash on hand, especially with potential natural disasters, that sort of stuff. So always have just a little safe haven at home, ready to go, so that you are prepared should natural disasters happen, should we have something that happens to, like in the 1930s, if there was a bank run, you want to make sure that you have some cash on hand. All right, let's continue on over. So let's check out the list over here. We have BABA. I had BABA on my list as a potential long to fill that gap back up. Sure enough, we had a nice trade breaking above 191.25, moving to the upside, almost up to 197, but a nice $5 move there. So I hope some of you guys caught that from my subscribership. So if you guys want to try my list, use welcome at cjanetrade.com and you will get 10% off. American Express today had earnings, and quite interesting, we had a lot of selling wicks right here. Actually, it was yesterday. See, I'm totally out of it. And it's pulled back and headed to the downside. So we had a nice short trade, $2.50 there. DD had big dark pool, but we also had a massive sell-off. It went from 12 down almost 50% in 3 days. So it's no wonder that it was oversold extreme. We had some dark pool activity over in here yesterday, and we are up above it, above 875. It was a nice trade, looking to see if it's able to break above 925, but we did have a nice reversal right there. NEO as well had a nice move today, overextended to the downside. It opened low and then it shot up. A little bit of a trade here, up 40 cents to the upside, breaking out of that resistance. You can see why. We had some shorts that got squeezed. Very quick move up here, and then now it's reclaiming the support right here at 41.35. Looking to see if it's going to reclaim the steam, but it looks like that momentum with the volume is dropping off. All right, we've got Boeing. Not sure if there was news, don't really care, but it's sort of traded sideways for my level to watch today. And looking at this here, we are below a volume weighted anchor price from this high back here, or excuse me, we're just above it. So if we close below that, I think we might see that this is going to pull back down to the downside. This was based off of earnings, and you can see, much like, I was gonna say McDonald's, it looks like golden arches, right? It looks like an M, like we saw on the daily chart on Apple. So watch to see if we're going to close or have a break down below 231.80. I would use that 231.80 level. Let's see, add alert, 231.80. That would be the more aggressive entry. I would use 230 as an overall entry, but that would be my signal. Hey, let me check this out and see if it's going to break down below 230. It could quickly drop from there. We already went over Apple and Microsoft. Let's check out AMC. Had a bit of downward price action earlier this morning, pulling back. Had a nice little short trade down to 36.50, and now a nice short squeeze to the upside, up above 38.50. Looking for this to come back down to 38.80. That would be another potential entry to head on up. Remember that if you do get into this, watch this resistance right here, roughly at 43.40 at this point in time. That's going to be the trend line over here that has acted as resistance. So keep it on watch. We have, it looks like a little, it's called a shark, right? A little shark fin right here that's setting up. Yeah, I will check out NVIDIA, no problem. We also had HMLP, so this was lower float and had a crazy day yesterday. It has not regained that trade from yesterday of a retraction back up here. It's just traded sideways in this range, so not too interesting right there. But if it were to break out, low float could have amazing momentum there. And SGOC, also lower float. It has 47 million in the float, but it had a lot of pre-market volume, a little bit of a short trade, nothing much, 18 cents right there to the downside. Oh, you guys hear that? That is the NSX that is just being started. The, what is it called? The tune of the NSX. All right, let's check out ALB for Troy. So ALB chemicals, let's move this over. So this is breaking out nicely. I like it if it can break out and hold up above 195, Troy. Nice one there. It does look like that's testing, not the all-time highs. We do have this wick, but I would look for 198.50 as a target, or 197.50 when it breaks above 195. Be cautious with it. Let's check this out really quickly. Pretty wide spread on there. I would look to see, yeah, if you could get in with it a bit tighter. That's a pretty wide spread. You've got 10 cents there. If it gets a little bit narrower, well, getting wider as we talk, look for that above 195, but I would be cautious and I would not chase it. All right, next one up is NVIDIA. Hello, Plumbing Squad. How are you? All right, so NVIDIA today did I draw that trend line on there? I feel like I drew it last time, and I feel like it's hitting one. Almost hitting the trend line right here. So I would keep that on watch, Terry. I would keep that on watch for 197.20 or 40. It looks like more on the shorter term time frame over here. So keep that on watch. See if we start to have bigger sellers coming in. If it were to come up here at 197 or 196.40, we could see it turn around and then come back down for this descending triangle that we have setting up over here with a support right here, and we'll see if that's going to come back down and test. It did have split 4 for 1 on the 20th of July, so that's likely the reason why people are getting into it. It's a little bit more affordable to get into it. Plumbing Squad, a little bit of both, and also crypto as well. All right, so let's check out Roku. Roku, we did break out of this downward trend, a little nice volume. I'm gonna adjust this. Let's get rid of this one over here. Let's draw a new little trend line here. Look at that, how it hit that right here as, how come it didn't show up on this side? Oh, it's over there. So on the shorter term time frame, it looks like there's a little bit more movement, but on our 24-hour, it looks like we hit it right there. There we go. Looks like we just hit it on the 24-hour chart yesterday. Well, that's why, because it's yesterday's price action. So look to see, are we going to continue up? Are we going to create a little diamond right here on the 24-hour chart. We do have earnings coming up on the 4th of August. So that's going to be next Wednesday, a week from today. So are they holding it up here and then they're going to drop it down? What happened with Netflix? Or is Netflix reporting? Netflix already had earnings and it was a down day and then a bit of a bounce. So looking that Netflix is also a streaming service, how about Disney? Did Disney report already? Disney reported back in May, but same scenario. They had a downward day. It was good earnings, came down 3 days, and then bounced. So looking at other streaming services, how did they perform? Right now, we might see that, I'm not going to speculate and say it's going down, but we saw Netflix drop. We saw Disney drop. I would anticipate in the streaming network area that we might see Roku drop as well, but there's no guarantees, obviously. And let's set up another little trend line right here. Let's put it right here. So I would watch, we have a bit of an ascending wedge right there. So if it breaks down, I would look for it to probably pull back down here to the yellow trend line. But on the shorter term time frame, it's just nicely riding to the upside. Watch for that 476. You can see that that was really a support level over here prior. Then once that broke, it dropped down. And that could really create a resistance level, support flipping to be resistance. GoTo, yeah, let's check out GoTo, David. All right, so GoTo has a nice little reversal pattern there. Let's do this. So when we look at it, you can see, I might put this up here, yeah, 360. It tested it once, twice, and then gapped down below it. Now it's testing it from below. So if that does play out, next level I would watch would be up here at 425. Nice 75-cent move with a breakout from 350. All right, let's look at EDU stock. EDU and TAL are just like going down to the graveyard. They are not doing well. Look at this. It went from 6 all the way down. So I would watch this area over here. I'm going to put it here and then adjust it over here. Yeah, right about there. So I would look for 275, 192, or 275. It looks like it's come up. It's sort of tested this trend line, excuse me, not trend line, moving average, and could continue down below. All right, let's check it out. Everything's monetizable. BTX. BTX looks like we have a downward trend right here. And it just broke out today, but there's not a lot of volume. That leads me to be a bit hesitant on this. Would need to have more volume coming into it. Oh, my pleasure, David. We need to have more volume coming into this. And it also looks like it could be setting up to test resistance right here at 1140. Okay, and Infi. And I will tell you guys, I'm going to show you an OTC stock that I am invested in. I was listening to the investors call yesterday, and I will enlighten you a little bit. I don't know. I'll have to see if I can find the call. Let me see if I can find the call really quickly on their website. Hold on. I have a nasty, it almost feels like a migraine headache today, so I'm not camera presentable today. Let's see. Sorry guys, looking for it really quickly. I see it right here, but this is not what I want, really. I'm trying to find the information. There, I think I might have found it. All right, well, this is what I found, which I can show you guys the press releases. But it doesn't have the call on here that I was listening to, but Quanta. So don't worry, everything is monetizable. I'll come back to that stuff. Quanta pretty cool stuff. Escazine with COVID-19 vaccines as effectiveness, also used with as a therapeutic for cancer. So I was on their call yesterday listening to it, and here's the thing. They have applied for FDA approval. Pretty cool pricing, right? 4 cents for those little penny stock traders. I'm not usually a big talker about penny stock traders, but their anticipated goal for this is to get the FDA approval and uplist it to NASDAQ at $4. 4 cents, $4, that's pretty nice return, right? So you guys might want to follow this. They have amazing products out there. It's MetaLife right now. So when we go and we look at the MetaLife, here was the website. This is the one that I was on yesterday with their investors call that I was on. Alia is their new store. So let's see if we can find Alia. How about this? Just copy and paste. So this could be like a little one this is, hey, I put some into it and I'm holding on to it a long time. Oh, sorry, James. Yeah, I went off of Facebook. No longer a Facebook junkie. Actually, I was never really a Facebook junkie. But we can go to MetaLife right here. Everything is like in the works for this company, and it's really, really cool homeopathic therapeutics for cancer and for COVID. So yeah, check it out and see some pretty cool stuff going on there. But this is their cancer supply that they have for sale. They have other great things like immunopens coming that were on the call yesterday. So it's really cool stuff. Really, really cool. All right, let's look at Infi. So Infi had earnings yesterday coming up, testing the resistance area of 246. You can see it over here. 250 even. So this would need to break up above 250. Otherwise, it's definitely in a downward trend. I have no trend line. No moving averages on over here. Definitely moving to the downside. Let's check out, is that organogram? OGI? Yeah, organogram. So this looks like it's also in a bit of a downward trend. And I would watch for it to test 280 level on the daily chart. So it's not far away. Had a nice little rebound, some nice volume coming in at the bottom. We have that longer term, and if we wanted to do another, you can see it spiked up and then it came down. So I would look on this sort of a descending wedge right there. Is this going to hold above with a close above 258 today? If not, likely going to continue to use this as a resistance on the way down right there. All right. Do you guys have any other questions? Let's jump over to my crypto list. It's performing nicely today. So we have XRP that is moving to the upside, playing around with a new fib level thing going on. So XRP did have some news today as well. Buddy of mine just sent it to me. I'm going to see if I have it over here. I don't have it right over here. Maybe here it is. Yeah. Xi Crypto. XRP promptly explodes 15% on news of Ripple opening new ODL corridor between Japan and the Philippines. Yeah, Plumbing Squad, that is going to be Q as in Quebec, November as in N as in November, T as in Tango, and A as in Alpha. Yeah, it's OTC, and they're looking to uplist to NASDAQ with a price of $4. And they've already applied for FDA approval. So knowing all of that information, that it could really explode to the upside when we look back on a monthly chart, just to give you an idea over here. Here we go. Brief. FDA accepts COVID-19 clinical study and advises on next steps. There you go. Advises on next steps for pre-IND filing. That was just a couple days ago, right? We are the 28th, so that was 5 days ago. This is Reuters. So there's good potential here, right? The high ever was 19 cents, but look at how the volume really started picking up in March. And it has dropped since then, but if we go here, you can see we're at the lower bound of this downward wedge. Actually, let me move it like this. So we're just below it right now on the shorter time frame. Let's make this one a 24-hour chart. Yeah, we're hanging out right at that lower level, and we could see, hey, it could quickly explode up to 19 cents there, just looking at it technically as well. If we create another little trend line here, from here over, we might see, hey, that it might hit that 17.5 cent area. Hi, Andy, how's it going? Before it moves to the upside over there. All right, let's head on back to XRP. So XRP had that news, where do we go? Of promptly exploding on Japan's on-demand liquidity payment corridor between Japan and Philippines. So this has been Plumbing Squad. You can always try calling them and see. Sometimes say, hey, I want to see if I can get the permission to buy this. Just check and see, right? It's always worth asking. That this is that's already been used as form of payments around the world, in Asia, in the Philippines. It's already being used for some people's salaries. They're receiving payments in XRP. So it's currently already in use. It's really the US. We have the Sunshine Act meeting that's going to happen tomorrow for the SEC. Maybe they will give us some sort of resolution on it. On the monthly chart, if we go back to where the breakout happened, right here, we're above all of that volume right here, and we are above the volume from when we opened, like overall volume. Let me change this color to be like fuchsia. That looks like a nice color, and I'll make it a little bit smaller. So this is like the all-time low. If we drop below 50 cents, I would say, hey, I'm ready to get out. I got in at 45 cents average. And looks like this could have a bigger move up. Once we break, here, let's pull this back over here. This is where we have, oops, not that, undo what I just did. I want the green line. Nope, stop that. I want this green line up here. There we go. When we break above 119, we are above the volume weighted anchor price on all of that most recent volume right there. So we'd look for this to really surge on that next leg higher. Yeah, Terry, what are you waiting for? You can buy it at bittrue, you can buy it at Uphold. I'm not sure if they have released it on Coinbase as of just yet, but it is at a nice little bottom, and it's already got a use function to it. Amazon is not planning on using Bitcoin. That was a quick little flub on the Bitcoin front. Do you guys hear that weird clicking? That was not me. So that was kind of weird. I wonder if it's, I don't know what it is. It's very strange. Very weird. I don't have anything that would be making a noise. You heard that weird clicking? Yeah. Strange stuff. Hey, but that's the internet. Weird things happen. Okay, cool. You guys heard it too. It's not just me. And it was not outside. I don't know what it is. Any event, we'll keep going. XLM. XLM has huge use function to it. And it's setting up with an inverted head and shoulders right here. Head, shoulder level, up at 28 cents, down to 20. So I would anticipate a nice move up to 36 cents over here for XLM on the daily chart. So I would watch that for another 9 cents off of 27. So we're looking at roughly 30% gain, potentially moving to the upside. That's kind of weird. Maybe I just need to leave my computer today. It's making weird noises. Doge also on the daily. On the weekly, monthly over here, it does look like it has somewhat. Let's do this. Let's throw on a volume weighted anchor for the monthly. I like checking out the monthlies over here. Oh, look at that. We hit the volume weighted anchor price from the breakout where all that volume came into at the beginning of January. Over here, January 1st, and look at how we bounce. These things are amazing. This is Brian Shannon's anchored VWAP. I absolutely love it. It's amazing too for cryptocurrencies. So you guys have to try it. And then if we draw a little trend line over here on our monthly, so I would look for a resistance test at 30. Once we break out from 30, this is the faster time frame. You can see we had a head and shoulders here, came down, it found support. So once it breaks up above, in my opinion, 25 cents, we're going to look for a test up at 30 cents. If we break 30 cents, keep watching it for continued growth there. Cardano is another one on my list. Over here, monthly, I would use 117 as support. We came down, we tested it, and moved to the upside. Let's check out Algo over here. Algo bouncing off of the 425 EMA. We had this little resistance line here. It failed. Let's move this on over here to here. It seems like it's down below a bit. So maybe this is going to be wave 1, 2, and then a bigger move 3. Are we going to test up to 111? 11.39. Let's add this over here. It's not on all charts. There we go. All right, so we will head on over. Let's go MOXI for everything's monetizable. Let's make this a 24-hour chart and make this one a 45-minute chart. All right, I'm going too fast for the computer. Bear with me while it loads. Maybe it was a warning that my computer was going to go down. All right, guys, it is frozen. Let's see if I can shut some of these windows. So MetaLife is the company, Quanta is the ticker. Let's shut some of these. Okay, I'm gonna try to reload the site, so bear with me. I don't know, maybe if we go to downdetector.com, that is a good one to check to see if things are going offline. There's a lot going down in Europe with ISP addresses. And yeah, websites are rising for ones that are out. So here's another great pingdom map, live map of the internet, of state of the internet. So you can see this is going up. So maybe it wasn't just me, maybe it's the internet, maybe it is part of that stuff. It's really interesting. On my other laptop, it says we're at 15,150 websites down, and this is showing less. So it's cool. All right, let me pull back the chat over here. All right, let's pull over here. MOXC. Let's try this again. MOXC. All right, it's working. So on the 24-hour chart, we are still definitely in a downward zone. You can see that we have resistance right here at $18, sold off 2 days in a row. If it breaks above 17.11, first I would say, hey, if we break above 16.80, test of 17.11, and then up to 18. If we break above 16.20 today, I would look for that $17. So I would look for an 80-cent move right there. Let's look at XELA. XELA looks like it's in a downward trend, bounce up, bigger selling coming in, and continuation move down today. Looks like we have support on the shorter term time frame at 250. So keep that on watch. If it does break down from there, it would look for another test down here at 235 over there on the chart right there. All right, and Snap. Let's check out Snap. So Snap over here, we have a little bit of a pennant setting up right there. Is it going to break out? It looks like we have selling, 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 and we're continuing to sell off from the top right here. We are starting to go below the moving averages. Remember, this is a 15-minute chart over here. So if we break the support level of 75.25 right here, watch for another test down at 74.60, I would give it, or 74.50, more like 74.50 right here. So if we break down below 75.25, look for 74.50 as a potential test right there. All right, guys, have an amazing day. I will hopefully see you guys on camera tomorrow when I'm feeling better. I'm going to head out for a nap. I am just not 100% today, but make sure you guys are prepared. You have cash, you have water, you have non-perishable goods. elevated in case you get hit by one of these wacky floods that are happening all around the world. I can't say it enough. We have risk management in trading. This is risk management in life, being prepared for natural disasters. So just take a little bit of time, stash it away, stuff that's not going to go bad, and then you won't worry and you'll be all set. All right, have a great day and see you guys tomorrow.